Let's say you collected a bunch of documents and you want to make sure that all of your documents are going to be accessible to you. So you might take your Office Drop prepaid envelope with you on this trip, and then as you collect the different documents and handouts, you keep dropping them into your envelope. Then at the end of the trip, you can scan everything by having it sent to Office Drop. You don't have to do any of the scanning yourself. Before you get on the plane, you drop your Office Drop envelope in the mail, and all of your scan drops are just waiting for you. And then you can access them however you want once you're back in your office without you having to do any of the work. Let's say you collected a bunch of notes while you were on this trip. You could use Evernote to keep track of all of those notes instead of writing them down on scraps of paper on the backs of envelopes. You could take them on your cell phone or on your laptop and keep them in a notebook for this particular trip. You could also take pictures of things that you want to review for later. So let's say there's a trade show at this conference, and while you're at the expo, you're taking pictures of the things that you want to review further. You could send those into Evernote and then share those notes with your assistant so that he or she could research those for you. So there's many ways that you can save time using these tools if you're going on a business trip. Let's say you're not going on a business trip. Let's say you're a consultant in an office and you work primarily with QuickBooks and you work with clients to help them do different things related to their finances. So let's say you capture each client's expenses in Expensify. Let's say you open an account for each one, and then you are automatically capturing their expenses as they come in via their credit cards. And then for your clients, without any of their interaction, you run reports for them based on their expenses or where their money's going. And then you can submit those reports to clients for their approval without you ever having to send them a paper document. You can also use Expensify to capture your own spending patterns within the tool so that you can keep track of where your own money's going. Let's say you have a bunch of documents for clients or for your own business. You've identified some that are simply archival and that you just want to keep long term. So you decide to have those scanned and archived at Office Drop. And on an ongoing basis, you have a little stack of papers that are to be scanned, and you keep those in a special spot. You drop those in an envelope monthly, and then you send that to Office Drop to be scanned so that you can archive it and access it later from whatever computer you happen to be on. For your daily notes, you decide to keep those inside of Evernote, and you, as I do, have notebooks by topic or project or by client. And as time goes on, you continually add to those notes and you're keeping them in a central spot, which makes it easy for you to find them. For your clients, you decide that you want to use Evernote to keep track of all of the notes you have with them or all of the meetings you have with them and keep notes of each meeting. So that way you're not losing track of that important information. And you're also keeping up with important ideas that you're having or future business ideas for each client. So you're collecting all of their data in one spot. Let's say you run a small business and you have a virtual team. Paperless tools can help you there as well. So you ask each of your team members to capture their spending in Expensify. They each have their own Expensify account that's linked to yours, and they're capturing their daily expenses. The ones that aren't being captured automatically by the system, they're inputting manually. Then, as the month closes or whenever your accounting cycle completes, you ask them to run their reports and submit them to you. You're able to view all of the data, including the electronic receipts, so that you can quickly and easily decide which expense reports to approve and which ones to ask for further clarification on. So in your company, for your documents, you've decided that you don't want the overhead and expense of having a file server. So instead, you have all of your documents scanned and all of your electronic documents sent into Office Drop. And then you're all able to share and access the documents from wherever you happen to be. You can collaborate on them with your team members, and also people outside of your company can see them as well if you decide to share them. For the ongoing documents, the paper-based ones that come in, each team member receives a prepaid Office Drop document envelope, and then as the month goes on, they can simply fill their document envelope with all the things that need to be scanned. And then once a month, they drop them in the envelope They send the envelope from Office Drop directly in the mail. It's prepaid, and then it arrives at Office Drop and then is scanned. Within a few days, all of the documents that that person had been collecting over the previous month are now accessible to everyone in the team, so that they're not limited to being accessed just on that person's desk. If your team keeps track of notes and to-dos and ideas, each person can have their own Evernote account, and then they can keep track of all of their stuff securely within Evernote. And you can have a shared notebook that everyone gets to chime in on, and that can keep track of important ideas that want to be shared with the team, important client notes that are relevant to everyone, clippings or ideas, or just important documents that you want everyone to be able to access from wherever they happen to be, whether that's on their phone or on their computers. So those are just a few examples of how going paperless can help you boost productivity either in your own business or with your clients. How do you get started? There are many tools out there. These are just really the beginning, the tip of the iceberg. These are some great ones, but there's so many, and it can feel overwhelming getting started going paperless. So how do you do it? First, choose what's bothering you the most right now, or what you'd most like to accomplish, whether that's managing the documents that are in your space, tracking expenses, or keeping tracks of the bits and pieces. Then identify what you want to do about it. Do you want to just simply reduce the amount of paper that you're storing? Do you want to reduce the amount of space that paper is taking up? Do you want to save time? Do you want to be better able to collaborate on documents? Do you want to approve and manage expense reports more easily? What is it that you want to accomplish? And then, whatever your top priority is, choose the tool that will let you do that, whether that's Office Drop or Expensify, Evernote, or some other. And don't go into it whole hog. What I mean is that you don't want to transfer everything into the paperless world right away. Typically, it takes some time to get used to having a reduction in paper in your space. Although you may want it badly and you want the magic wand to come in and make all the paper disappear, the reality of it is that you're used to working with paper. So you have to take a more measured approach to going paperless. So start small, gain some successes, figure out what's working and what isn't for you, tweak and adjust, and then implement more solutions or implement whatever solution you've chosen more fully as you gain practice and you have some successes under your belt. A few things that you want to avoid. First, you want to have realistic expectations. As I mentioned, you're never going to completely do away with paper. You're going to have less paper. You may be able to save a bit of time, or in some cases, quite a bit of time. But make sure that your expectations for what you want to accomplish are in the realm of reality. If you're going to be working with a team, make sure that everyone who's going to be using these systems understands them, is trained on them, and decides that they're actually going to use them. The worst thing that can happen is that you've got a team of 5 people, 3 people are really gung-ho and on board with going paperless, and 2 people are not. The 2 people that are not can really stymie your efforts and delay the benefits that you'll receive from going paperless. So make sure that your team is on board. Going paperless is a process, and just like any productivity or organizing process, it takes time. And to really see and benefit from the successes, you'll need to stick with your plan for a while. Not just to see the benefits, but to make sure that it's really working for you. These things don't change overnight. You've had a lifetime of working with paper. You can't just shift to going paperless overnight and see all the benefits and make it be really comfortable for you. It'll take some time to get used to it, so be patient. Now, going paperless doesn't mean that all of the tasks and the to-dos associated with going paper will go away. You'll still have to do things. Going paperless doesn't just magically make the paper go away and the tasks associated with it also go away. You'll still have the tasks. So make sure you have some strategy for managing your tasks that are now associated with digital documents instead of paper ones. And finally, again, there'll always be some paper. No matter how much we want it to go away, it's still going to exist. So now I believe we have some time for questions and answers.
Great. Josh, thank you very much.